Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today I'm going to talk about cheat meals or free meals. So hey guys, hope everybody's doing great. Sorry for the pause on videos. Unlike Paul, yours truly is a lazy asshole. This guy. And doing videos while out and about traveling is not necessarily my strong suit. And since we had the motherfucking Olympia this past weekend, I just wasn't on it. I'm actually still trying to get back into the groove of things right now. That time change fucked me up, as well as, you know, late nights, early mornings, all that good shit. So, either way, here we are. But I had a question that came from one of my clients today. Thought it was a good question, so I was like, all right, sweet, let's talk about this. And pretty much what they asked was, what's my protocol for clients' birthdays, right? What's my protocol for a client's birthday? Or this Saturday I was thinking, do I do a cheat meal? Do I do free meals? Do I allow them, like, what do I do? What do you do, Steven? And so, I think at the end of the day, it really depends where you're at in the process. So, it sucks, right? It really sucks. So first and foremost, I'm not a huge fan of untracked / cheat meals for the vast majority of people anyways. Mainly because it takes away accountability for what we're doing. Even if I say, don't be an asshole, like, okay, great. Accountability. What is an asshole? What is being an asshole? Right? That's kind of like a vague term. And so a lot of people can say that as, take that and kind of run with it still, right? I could say, hey, here's a calorie count. And I've done this for people before too. Here's a calorie count that I want you to max out on this free meal. I want no more than, say, 1,600 calories on this free meal. And for the rest of the days, I want you to have like a training day or calorie, or maybe a rest day calorie for the rest of the day. And so we at least know that it's working within a said calorie limit. But maybe it's 900 calories, maybe it's 1,600 calories right at the end of the spectrum, right? Well, again, there's a decent calorie difference there. And again, it gives a lot of room for interpretation, right? So typically, if I'm going to give somebody a free meal, there's not any limitations on it. It's like, hey, here's a free meal. So I have one client in particular who her calories are pretty freaking high right now already and has 2 untracked meals per week. Well, she is a hard gainer and she is going into an off season. She's post-show. We want to put on weight and that's what it takes for her body to do so. So we're kind of killing her with the food intake right now. To try and make sure that we're doing the right things there. So if you're in an off season, if you're trying to put on weight, if you know you are a hard gainer, I think untracked meals can be a huge benefit. Not only for the fact of the physiology, but the psychology. Yeah, it can be nice to go out with your significant other and not have to worry about fitting your macros in, right? Now, this client in particular, her macros are more than high enough to fit a meal out in anyways. It's not a big deal for her. But mentally we can be like, oh, I gotta hit my macros, and we don't move stuff around day to day or plan, or you know, it can be one of those things. And I've had other clients as well that, you know, that untracked meal, it's more of a psychological benefit for them to go out and enjoy something with their significant other. So yes, free meals, they have a place, they have a time, right? I don't think that they're the worst thing ever, but it depends on the client where they're at. Typically my preference for the vast majority of people, because they are not hard gainers, their macros aren't going to be super crazy high, right? I work with a lot of smaller females. Sorry guys, you're probably not going to get to a 2,600 calorie a day maintenance place. It's just not going to happen, right? But for most of them, I say, let's work with our macros. If we need to move things around from day to day, great, but we need to try and make it work. Otherwise, weight gain becomes bigger and bigger over time. And then obviously, you know, over the course of 4, 5, 6 months, if we have extra calories and extra weight gain, that can add up. And especially if you're looking at getting back onto the stage, that can become an issue depending where we get to, right? That's what we want to worry about for a good chunk of my clients, right? It's keeping you somewhere where we're within like reasonable striking distance and we can still get back to the stage. When we start putting on too much weight, that's when we have problems. So 30, 40 pounds is probably the upper limit, and that's not somewhere even that I'd want to be over stage weight, right? That can start becoming very, very difficult, especially for females. We're going to have to take a long dieting phase and be reasonably aggressive to get that off. Not my preference as a coach. So, when do I think that cheat meals, free meals, birthday meals are no-go? And here's what it comes down to. There's always going to be another event. There's always going to be another dinner. There's always going to be another birthday, another anniversary, another Christmas or Thanksgiving, right? There's always something coming up. Our society utilizes food and meals as a way to celebrate, right? It's a social thing. It's an interaction thing. And that's part of how we do it. Now, if you are dieting or you're trying to improve your body composition or you're trying to get ready for a show, balance isn't necessarily always a thing. And so maybe we can enjoy those things in moderation if our numbers are high enough, right? Maybe we can still enjoy a piece of cake or drink or, you know, a decent meal, but maybe not eat all of it. Like maybe we still have room to make those things work, and that's great. If we do, awesome. But at some point during a dieting phase or during even during a reversing phase, if we're far out, but we've put a little bit more body fat on than we want to, and we're trying to really pay attention to our body composition and where we're at with our body composition, then it's probably best that we really keep things in check. Now, that might mean that we move some calories within that day to later in that day to make it work, right? So maybe instead of having a good amount of our carbs earlier on in the day, we kind of tough it out. We say we're going to move those carbs to later in the day. No big deal. Maybe it means moving some calories from the days around the event to that day of the event. So say maybe I'm going to go 5 fats under and 15 carbs under for 2 days prior. That gives me an extra 10 fats and 30 carbs for the day of. Try and stick to that. If I find that I go a little bit over, I can take a couple, carbs and fats from the days post, and then at least for the week, as an overall, I'm still on. But at the end of the day, your goals don't give a shit about everything else that's happening in life. I know that feels a little bit like unfair and non-understanding, but the truth of the matter is your physiology, it's physiology, it works, right? It does what it's going to do. It has certain pathways, certain signaling things. That's what it's going to do, okay? So it doesn't care if it's your birthday, it doesn't care if it's your anniversary, those things, it's going to do what it does, right? And that now, a lot of things influence that and can impact that, but it's doing what it does. So, at the end of the day, it depends on what's most important to you, right? So what I say is if you have this goal that you've set, it's got to have some importance to you. It's probably better to make sure that we're doing the right things so that we're still hitting the goals. Because nothing's more frustrating than 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I only dance when I'm drunk, sorry guys. But nothing's more frustrating than that. So sometimes it makes sense to say, I'm in this phase of I'm trying to improve body composition, I'm trying to diet, I'm trying to lose body fat, I'm trying to get closer to a good place to be for stage. You know what? I'm going to have to keep it in control this year. I'm going to have to handle my business. I'm going to have to make sure that it fits my macros and I'm on this diet. So I know that's not what a lot of you want to hear, but the truth can be painful at times. Just like the fact that I don't look that good in a tank top. So that's it, guys. I'm leaving it right there. Hope y'all have a wonderful, what the fuck day is it? A wonderful today.